Okay, so Year 8, we're continuing on with a few more examples because practice makes perfect with these questions. Okay, so number 6. In 8 years, Kelly's age will be twice what it is now. How old is Kelly now? These questions are really badly done in exams. The question they've asked you is, how old is Kelly now? So you've got to make sure when you put your let statement down here that when you represent your letter, you're going to have let K equal Kelly's age. Age is our number word because an age is a number. So let K equals Kelly's age, but make sure that you write now on the end because we are talking about Kelly's age at different times. And they're asking for how old she is now. Okay, so if K is Kelly's age now, then we have to look up here at this sentence up here and see what equation we have. In 8 years, so in 8 years' time, Kelly is going to be 8 years older. So at the moment, she's K. She's K years old. In 8 years' time, she'll be 8 years older. We need to add 8 years to her age. So she will be K plus 8 in 8 years' time. Now, in 8 years, Kelly's age will be, so it will be equal to twice, 2 times, what she is now. Okay, so Kelly in 8 years' time, K plus 8, will equal 2 times what she is now. Once you've got your equation, the rest of it's just solving it. So 2 times K is the same as 2K. Underline your K terms. Don't forget there's a 1 in front of that K. Majority rules. So 2K is staying where it is. We're going to move the plus 1K over to the other side to be minus 1K on the end of that line. Keep your 8 where it is. 2K minus 1K is just 1K, so you've got your answer. Okay, just forget the 1. So Kelly is 8 years old now. So at the end of an exam, if you had time, you could check it. Go, okay, I said Kelly was 8 years old now. Let's see if this works out. In 8 years' time, she would be this plus 8. She would be 16. Is that double what she is now? Yes, it is. So you're right. Okay, over here, number 7. The charge C dollars for hiring a hall for an event is C equals 150 plus 2N. They've given you the equation. You don't have to think of one. So these questions should be easier, but in the book, they've marked it as hard. Okay, it should be an easy question. They've given you the equation. They're telling you that N stands for the number of people at the event. So the C is the charge in dollars of what they're charging. The N is the number of people at the event. Okay, so the question asks in part A, find the charge. The charge is C, so we have to find out what C is. They are telling you that there are 225 people at the event. That is what N is. So we're always going to copy an equation down if they give it to us. So copy it down, and then we're going to put in the number they gave us, which is 225. That's going to go in for N. And then you're just going to work all that out on your calculator and get your answer. Just make sure that you put a dollar sign there because it is a charge, and the charge was in dollars. Okay, for part B, they're asking for you to find the number of people at an event. So we're looking for N this time. When the charge is $394. So this is your charge. So this is representing C. So we're going to start by copying the equation down that they gave us in the first part. Then we're going to put the charge in as 394. They gave us that. So the only thing we don't know here in this equation now is N, which is what's supposed to happen because that's what we're trying to find. So we're going to solve this equation now to find N. So I'm going to get rid of the plus 150, come over to the other side and minus it on the end of the line. Work that out on your calculator and you get 244. Get rid of the times 2 by putting it over 2. And use your calculator fraction key and you end up with 122 people. Okay, And at the end, you could double check that this actually works, but it does. You can check it later on. Okay, number 8. This time they've given you a diagram. So with diagrams, you just have to really concentrate on what they've got on the diagram and see if there's anything you can work with to get an equation. So they've got 2 equal markings here. These 2 sides equal each other. So that's what we're going to do. 2x plus 3 equals 17. That's our equation. So it's a pretty easy one. You've just got to look at the information on the diagram. So now we've just got to solve it. Get rid of your plus 3. Come over and minus 3. Then get rid of your times 2 by dividing by 2 and work your answer out. If they're giving you units up here, please just write them on the end. Alright, so it's just centimetres in this case. Alright, number 9, there's a few parts to this question. They've given you a diagram. This is a rectangle. We can see the 4 right angles. And they've told you the area of this rectangle is 50 centimetres squared. We are finding the value of x first. So, if they give you something to do with a shape, you're looking at the shape anyway, but if they mention a shape in a question, underline it. That might be a rectangle, a square, a triangle, whatever it is, underline it. Then, if they're talking about an area or a perimeter or whatever it is, underline that as well. So this question, we're talking about the area of a rectangle. You all know that the area of a rectangle is length times breadth. So we're going to write that formula down because that's going to help us get our equation. It's got an equal sign in it already. So now we're going to put our area in. They told us the area is 50. So we're going to put 50 in for A. Our length and our breadth are up here on the diagram. It doesn't matter which way around your length and breadth go. And because of the expanding of the brackets, I've written it this way. So I've said my length is 5 and my breadth is 3x minus 2. And we know from L times B that we're multiplying those things. So you do have to expand some brackets here. So we have 5 times 3x is 15x and 5 times minus 2 is minus 10. Okay, so now we're going to solve that equation. So we continue. We're going to get rid of the minus 10 by adding 10 to the other side, and then we're going to get rid of the times 15 by dividing by 15. And we get an answer of x equals 4 centimetres. Alright, after we get that x value, the next part they're asking is find the length of the rectangle. Well, if you look at the diagram, this is the one they've mentioned as the length. They wouldn't be asking you for that because they know what that is. So the length is this one. The length equals 3x minus 2. We now have an x value of 4. So we're going to put that in and we're going to work that out on our calculator, and the length is 10 centimetres. Now once you get that, the next question says find the perimeter of the rectangle. Well, if we know that this is 10, and you know that the opposite side is 10, and you know that the opposite side of this is 5, to get the perimeter, you're just adding up all the sides of the shape. Okay, so we're adding 5 plus 10 plus 5 plus 10, any order you like, and you get a perimeter of 30 centimetres. The last question we're going to do is one that does actually apply to some people's income. Some people don't just earn a wage, an hourly rate, so much per hour, or they don't earn a salary where they're paid a certain amount per year. This person's a salesperson. Their boss has employed them so that they can sell things. So the boss is giving Grace $200 a week. That's in case she has a bad week, might be in these times of coronavirus and there's nobody buying anything. So she's going to get $200 a week. But if she does sell things, she's also going to have plus an extra amount of money. So she's going to be paid 1/5, we're going to write that as 1/5, of the value of the sales for the week. So in this question, they're telling you what she earns for the whole week. She's going to be paid $750 by her boss. So that's a lot more than $200. So she must have made some sales. So if we have a look at what we're doing here, we're finding the value of the sales for the week. We're going to let S equal the value of her sales. A value is a number word because it's actually in dollars. The value of the sales is the number of dollars in her sales. Okay, so she's being paid $200 plus 1/5 of means times, the value of her sales. That's what she gets for a week. Well, they're telling you that all of that is actually $750. So all of that is going to equal $750. So now we're just solving an equation. So 1/5 times S we can write as 1/5 S. So the first thing we're going to get rid of is the plus 200. Move it over the other side, put it on the end of a line. Work that out on your calculator. Then we're going to get rid of the times 1/5, which would be divide by 1/5 over here. So just when you're doing this on your calculator, it's probably easier if you type this in as 550 divided by, and then 1/5 for your fraction key. You will get the answer of $2,750 quickly. I'm just turning that around because I don't know if you can see that. Oops. So that's how you write it on the calculator. Okay, good luck with your homework.